left has moved into a certain kind of sectarianism.
Yeah.
Uh, and sectarianism in the dictionary is putting the interests and needs of your subgroup ahead of the interests of the whole. It's a kind of self-divisiveness, and so we have this so-called woke language happening here that is based on a kind of sectarianism we call identitarianism. And again, identity is very important, and people have the right to whatever identity they want. But that doesn't mean that focusing on the language of your identity is smart politics or is going to amass uh, mass support and majority support. And the only way, of course, that you can change things, the only way that you can help the oppressed and the vulnerable is to get power through
Mm.
assembling majority support. So when people on the left now use terms like cis-normative and intersectional, I can tell you that nobody knows what the hell they mean. So if they want to use terms like that within a subgroup, that's fine. But for your political communication, that's dead on arrival.
So they're trying to. It's the classic example I see in America is Latinx. You're like there are some groups trying to further this, non-binary language Latinx, but the Latino community has gone fuck off. We're not using that
Well, of
because
course, that's not the way they talk.
yeah, exactly, because their whole the A or the O at the end is actually there they have gendered language,
That's right.
and but there is a subgroup saying that this is how everyone should talk, and the group that it actually impacts most of all have said, yeah, we're not doing that, we're not playing that game. And it was one of the questions I had written down here for you is,
Sure.
like, you've said three things I want to go back to already, but why is gender, why is this the new thing, all consuming for so many progressives?
Well, look, gender is a very important thing, and people have the right to be whatever gender they want to be. It's a very sacred and important right. I mean, anything else is oppression. I'm just saying that uh, if you make that your main political message, you're not going to win power. In the 60s, we achieved a lot of lasting impact. And a lot of it was around issues of personal freedom and, greatly reducing, although certainly there's much more work to be done. You know, there's less sexism, there's less racism. We had a black president, women are in the workforce. None of that used to be true, in the early 60s. So, marijuana is getting legalized. Personal freedom and the freedom to be who yourself is much greater. It's not perfect by any means, long way to
Mm,
go. But what we didn't succeed at is getting power. We didn't build institutions. The corporate world is more dominant in my country than ever before. They run everything. And so my point is, if we're going to make our main message gender and identity, we're not going to get power. And if we don't
yeah.
get power, we can't help protect people that are transvestites or any kind of personal identity. So we have to distinguish between our own feelings and what is tactically and politically smart to achieve our goals.